everybody. Today I got a really special story to show you. It's called How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Here we go, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And by the way, this is really old book. Alright, here we go. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. That's the Grinch, you see. Okay, here we go. But whatever the reason, his heart or shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Who's, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm, lively windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mislet Who, and they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow it's Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming, for tomorrow he knew. All the Who girls and boys would wake bright up and early. They would rush for their toys and then, the noise. That one thing he hated, the noise. I'll show you the picture. That's cool. Let me turn them. There. Then the Who's young and old would sit down to a feast. And they'd feast and they'd feast. And they'd feast. Feast. They would feast on Who pudding and a rare Who's roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. See that feast right there? I'll give you a minute to look at the picture. That is a lot. All right, we're going to keep going with the book. I'm going to have 1 more minute, okay? For you to see this picture. All right, now we can keep going with the book. Oh, and make sure, please hit the subscribe button and the bell. Thank you if you do. I only have 4 subscribers, okay? Let's just keep going. All right, let's go. And then they do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, he liked of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. They'd sing and sing, and they'd sing. And the more the Grinch thought of those Who sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I put up with this. Now I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Look at that. It's cool. Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. See, he's thinking. He's thinking. All right, let's keep going. I just know what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat. And he made a quickly Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked with a great Grinchy trick. What with this coat and this hat, I'll just like saying Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since the reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? The old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Look, the Grinchy Claus hat. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, Get! And the sleigh started down toward the home where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. He started with his way. All the windows were stark quiet. Snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreamed sweet dreams with care. When he came to the first little house on the square, this is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney and rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only one for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. Then he slittered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present, pump guns and bicycles, roller skaters, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn and plums, he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who's pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and started to shove when he heard a small, like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou, who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? But you know that old Grinch was so smart and slick. He thought up a lie and he thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there and I'll bring it back here. And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head and he got her a drink and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuck the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log of their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar on their walls. He left nothing but hooks and some wire, and the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same things to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was 15:15 dawn. All the Who's still in a bed, all the who still a snooze when he packed up his sled. Packed it up with their presents, the ribbons and the wrappings, the tags and the tins, the trimming, the traps, things. There, 3,000 feet up the side of me Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tippy. Wait, that's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was very, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came somehow or other. It just came. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet. And what happened then? Well, in the Whoville, they say the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quiet so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. Welcome Christmas, while we stand heart to heart and there. So this is why I choose this book because it was really similar to me. I got it a long time ago. So thank you for watching, and I had this book for a long time ago, and I think it was my first one. So if there are any books you want me to read, leave the comment below. Comment below. And this is an old book, by the way. I got it my first Christmas. All right, that's it for today's episode. Thank you for listening to How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Bye.